Hey guys, welcome to my channel. The next videos you will see on my channel are going to be my Day 23 foundation and then a full face and haul of Shop Miss A products. On my Day 23 foundation video, I'm going to try to keep my primer, powder, setting spray the same and use products that I know and love. I might sprinkle in some of these other products that I didn't get to use today in that video. I'm going to start off the video with the skincare. I already sprayed this earlier, but I want to go ahead and rehydrate my face before we move on to do my other skincare. What I like about this is that I can put this on first, and then I feel like it kind of wakes my skin up, and then everything I put on top, I just feel like it's going to penetrate even further. All right, now I'm going to use the Biossance Squalene Firm and Lift Dual Serum. Hopefully this is not too hydrating for my skin, but that's why I wanted to try it now and let you know. I usually just use about a dropper full. I've not tried this one out yet. I wanted to save it and use it today. But I have tried their copper peptide serum and I absolutely love it. So I was so excited to finally try this with you all. And so far, this feels very nice. It does feel super hydrating. And I feel like my skin literally just drank it up. This is the Goop Glow Vita C Brightening Eye Cream. This is what the product looks like. It instantly hydrates and gives a little bit of a glow, but I don't have any issues with putting concealer on top. It's very lightweight, but it just makes your under eyes so smooth and radiant. I absolutely love it. And then I'm going to put on top the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Moisturizer. This little sample usually can get 2 uses out of 1. I usually just kind of fold it over and we'll use it again tomorrow. So here you can see, I try not to use too much moisturizer. This one is a very thin, lightweight, gel-like feel. It kind of feels like the Tatcha water cream. If you've ever tried that, this is very similar. I'm going to put a little bit more of this on. Really been enjoying this. I feel like it's a little bit of a thicker formula. It sticks to your lips. It doesn't really move, which I appreciate. It's not too thick though. Make sure I don't have any skincare in my brow area. Let's try this Morphe brow gel. I'm going to do the same technique as far as the Rare Beauty. You all know that's my favorite, but I'm going to try to use this in the same exact way and see if we get the same result. I usually just take whatever's on the spoolie and distribute it on both sides and then give it a few minutes to kind of dry a little bit, and then I'll go back and try to lay the brow hairs down and keep them in place. I love how tiny the spoolie is. I mean, it fits really good. It grabs a hold of all the brow hairs. It's a little bit of a thinner formula. It's not drying down in the same way as the Rare Beauty. Usually by now the Rare Beauty is already starting to grip the hairs and I can already start to lay them in place. This one still feels a little too wet for that. Yeah, it's very wet. Probably just have to take my finger to kind of tap it down to see if it'll hold. Because this spoolie is just brushing through them. It's not laying them down at all. It's just too wet. It's just, no. It's not anywhere near as good as Rare Beauty, which I'm sad because I would love to find a alternative. There's one from Maybelline. I'll put it on screen for you. It's similar, but it's still not as good either. I just can't find anything that's better than this. So I'm going to show you these hairs right here. I'm going to use the Rare Beauty just to show you the difference. So I'm just putting this on. Hopefully it won't cause any issues with the Morphe. Honestly, it feels now like my brow hairs have a little bit of hairspray on them or something, but like a texture spray. That's exactly what it feels like. Look at them brow hairs sticking straight up. Okay, well, now we know. That's part of this. That's why I like trying new stuff. I don't have a brand new eye primer today, so I'm just going to use my Rare Beauty, which I did recently repurchase 2 backups of this from Rare Beauty website because it is either being discontinued or there's some type of issue going on with manufacturing. I don't know. It's no longer available on Sephora, and I went to the Rare Beauty website in a panic and was able to buy 2. It's such a good formula. I wanted to use a really good, reliable eye primer, so that way when we use these eyeshadows, I know how they should perform because I'm very familiar with this eye primer. It just smooths everything out and all the eyeshadows lay perfectly on top. I do lightly set it down. Let me just show you guys this. I'm so excited. I have almost used up my Jaclyn Hill little powder palette. I feel like any powder will work, don't get me wrong, but I've been loving this and I will miss it. I will miss it. I'm going to create a look with this palette and then we'll use the Danessa Myricks too, but I'm going to start with the mattes and then we'll apply the Danessa. This thing's hard to open, you guys. I'm not kidding. It really is. And just as I suspected when I just opened this, I want to show you. This shade right here is trying to fall out. It's literally trying to fall out. I pulled some of my favorite eyeshadow brushes. I'm going to start with the Taupe Tear. It's very powdery. Once you stick your brush in, it's got a lot of kick up in the pan, which is kind of surprising because it felt super creamy. See all that kick up in the pan? All right. It's definitely got some pigment to it. That freaking shade keeps falling out. It is completely out. It's on the mirror. Come on, Morphe. It's literally in my hand right now. Okay, it's still in one piece. I'm taking the BK212 brush with that taupey shade, and I'm just going to finish blending it. It's a beautiful mauve taupe shade. It's like the perfect tone and the perfect depth for a transition shade. Love it. All right, I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to go into that creamy white matte shade, and I'm going to use that under the brow bone. Okay. That's not cool. That shade is, it's not a matte. It's like a satin. That's why it felt so creamy. It's not a true matte. It has like a sheen to it, which I don't love. I usually try to go for a matte shade under here to smooth out my texture. So I do not like that at all. I'm going to take this little palette that I keep in my work makeup bag. I'm going to take this white shade from it on the 212 and see if I can help smooth out under my brow with that. I was able to smooth it out to where it's not emphasizing all the texture, but it's definitely not what I prefer under my brow bone because I have some texture through here and now it's like highlighting it. And usually if I put a matte there, it smooths it out. So just keep that in mind. I am going to take this Morphe M331 brush and I'm going to go into the deepest brown matte and we're going to place it out here in the outer V and just kind of smoke out the outer V a little bit. And giving some lift to my eye by placing this deep shade. It gives the illusion of a more lifted eye once you clean it up. I don't want to use too much of this because I really want that Makeup by Mario Plum eyeliner to do a lot. So I'm just going to keep that very minimal right now. These mattes feel like satin mattes. I don't know, they're different. They're okay, but I just haven't used Morphe eyeshadows in a while, and I forgot how they perform. They're not my favorite formula. I could make them work, and I could make a beautiful eye look out of them. They're just not my favorite formula. I think I'm going to take the eyeliner right now before I put on any shimmers, just to really see what it's giving. And I'm going to start out here at my lash line. I want to see how deep this plum color is before we move on, just to get an idea of how it looks on my eyes. All right, now I'm going to take the 208 from BK Beauty, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of the eyeliner directly from the pencil. And I'm just going to take it right here above my eyelashes. I just feel like it's easier to get in there with this little tiny brush, and it just helps you not waste too much eyeliner. I'm going to take that deep matte from the palette and just place it on top of that plum eyeliner. And this is just going to help extend the wear by setting it down, even though, as you saw in my swatch earlier, this does not need any help with longevity. This is a really pigmented eyeliner that doesn't budge. I'm just going to extend my eyes a little bit. A little baby wing. Going back in with a little bit of that deep color on that brush just to blend right on top of that eyeliner out here. I want it to be very soft and blended. Now let me show you what it looks like when I clean it up. Not a ton of fallout either with these, which is good. At least they've got that going for them. Alright, I'm going to leave it there for now. I could make it a little bit more lifted, but I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to use the metallic side of this Danessa Myricks Duo. And I'm just going to take it directly on the lid. I'm going to take this brush from ColourPop. It's the E3. I'm going to take it and grab a little bit of the product and just carefully spread it out a little bit, just kind of doing patting motions. I'm going to go for the shade that's falling out carefully. It's kind of deep, but I want to put a little bit of that on the brush and then just place it on top of that metallic shade from Danessa Myricks, just to kind of set that down. I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying I'm trying it like this so that way I can test all these products. And then now we're going to use the foil side and place it more towards the center and the inner portion of my eye. I'm going to do the same thing. Pick some up on the brush. I'm going to take this and kind of tap it all around from the center towards the inner corner, and it's beautiful. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like I want a little bit more from them, but maybe it's just the shades that I picked. I like them. I'm just not in love with them. It's like white topper shade from the Morphe palette now, and I'm going to place that down right in the center. And then do the same thing, just kind of tap all the way to the inner portion of my eye. Because this is a bright topper shade, but it also will look really pretty towards the inner corner as well. So that's just giving a ton of shine, which I knew it would. It's very sparkly. And now that I know that white shade is not a true matte, it actually might perform really well in the inner corner once we finish the look. I always pop a really bright shade on the inner corner, so we might use that too. I'm going to use my finger and grab some of that shade from Morphe palette and see if the finger application is a little bit more impactful. Maybe a little bit, but I think either way you go, you're going to get really good sparkle and shine from these. So I think it's a very simple, pretty look. It was very easy to create, so I'm not mad at it. All right, I'm going to do the other eye and I'll come right back. I will use this white shade in the inner corner in a little while, but for now, I'm just going to use my Clio Kill Lash mascara, the one that's already opened, and I'll show you all a before and after of my eyelashes. This stuff is phenomenal. It just lifts your eyelashes straight away. Let me do this really quick and I'll be right back. I did not buy a new primer, which is odd. Usually I'm all about primers, but I'm just going to use my tried and true Cali Ray So Bloom primer because this one is almost gone. I'm trying to use it up and I wanted to use a primer that I know and love. So we're just going to put this on and we're going to let it sink in before we move on to complexion. So I'm going to put this on now and then we will do some brows. I guess I technically showed you 3 different brow products today, but we're going to go in with the Revie Beauty and the Morphe because the NYX is a repurchase. These are both new products. I'm going to start with the Revie Beauty first. Again, it's in the shade light brown. And what I like to do is just kind of connect right here where I need a little bit of fill-in. Right here I have all these brow hairs already, so I don't really need much work in this area, but I like to connect it here to the part where I do need work. And I'm just going to go ahead and start my arch. Alright, so far it feels good. It feels like a powdery formula. And I don't know if that's because it's going on top of brow gel, but it does feel a little bit on the powdery side, which is fine. It's just unique coming from a pencil to feel so powdery. I feel like this shade is going to work just fine. I was afraid of it being too warm, but I feel like it looks really good. I don't want to do too much, so I'm just going to be very careful with it. And through here, I just need to extend it a little bit. I'm going to stop with this one, and now we're going to open the Morphe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Morphe on this side, but if I need to use this one on this side and like make them more balanced, I will. But we're going to try to use Morphe on this side. And I'm going to do the same technique as far as trying to connect right here first. All right, this one is a little bit more microfine, just a little bit smaller, not a terrible difference, but it's working really well. I feel like this shade's a little bit lighter maybe, or just not as pigmented, but it's doing the job. Yeah, I think this might be a little bit lighter and a little bit more of a red tone, but they're very similar. I do feel a difference in the formula. This one's way more powdery feeling. I'm going to take the Morphe now on this side and try to bring some of that warmth over here to balance it out. Now I'm going to take some of the Revie Beauty on this side. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I feel like these are both a good pencil. I feel like I'm slightly leaning towards the Revie as far as the color. And I like the formula as well. I just wish the tip was a little bit more fine on this. But it's not bad. I feel like it's very good quality. So, I don't know. I like them both. I'll just have to let you know later how they wear. We're going to wait and save the rest of the brow for pen. I know they're not exactly even right now. Just ignore that. I'm really excited about this portion of the video. I'm not big on underpainting, but I'm excited to try it. I want to try to start with the deeper shades first. I'm going to apply most of it with the small side and then use the bigger side to blend it out. I'm feeling that's what I want to do. I'm going to use this first and then I'll use all the other products on top. I'm going to start with this small brush and use it to contour my nose a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to blend it out. I'm just going to apply it. And one thing I will say is I've seen people apply it and then blend it out after everything's applied, and I feel like it sits too long and then it's harder to blend. So I'm actually just going to apply and blend as I go, but I'm not going to blend it completely because you want to still be able to see it under your foundation. So I'm just going to take this and try to give the illusion of a straight nose, but we all know I don't, so it's okay. And I'm not a very good nose contour person, but it's okay. I'm using the deepest color, by the way. I'm just kind of tapping it in. That's good enough for that. Taking the deepest color under my lips. And for this, I'm kind of going all the way around to give the illusion of bigger lips. And so far, I think the medium shade is perfect for me. I know it's going to look scary at first, but just trust the process. Now I'm going to take the deepest shade and I'm going to try to contour with that. And I usually go right above my ear and keep the contour right there. This formula is very emollient and it's not super pigmented. I thought it would be a little bit more pigmented, but that's okay. I'm just going to tap that in. Like I said, we're just trying to give the illusion of a shadow. Under our makeup. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more heavy-handed with it because now that I know the formula is not super pigmented, I don't have to be as scared of it. And again, we're using the deepest shade right now in the palette. So if you have light medium skin or medium, I mean, I feel like this is a good palette, but just know it's not super deep. Trust the process, trust the process. Now I'm going to go into the bronzy color shade and I'm going to apply it a little bit lower. I like this brush. It's really nice. I'm just not too sure this formula. It's kind of patchy. I mean, this person is like known for this technique, so I'm trying to just trust this, but as far as it looking right now, I'm like, I don't know. All right, we're going to call that, I think, as far as the dark shades go. I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush and hitting the spots that you don't have much pigment on there, which is so weird to me. I'm going to clean off the brush and go into the lighter shades now. I'm going to use the color correcting shade first under here where I have a little bit of purple veins that I want to cover. Okay, go into the highlighting shades and put some here. I'm kind of mixing them.
Unfortunately, the highlight shades in this palette are more like a foundation or concealer shade for me. In order for me to get a true highlight, I would probably need the light palette, but the dark contour shades in the light palette would not be dark enough. So I feel like that might be an issue for light to medium skin tones.
I'm just going to tap that in. I feel like those highlighting shades are more of like an actual concealer shade for me. They're not super bright. Okay, that is blended. All right, let's try my Dior foundation stick now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my BK 115 brush and pick up the foundation on the brush. And I'm just going to stipple this all around. And I feel like the shade 3CR is perfection for me. And I'm just going to be very careful and just carefully tap over that to try to avoid lifting it. But I want, I still want to be able to see it. I just don't know, guys. Well, I'll have to keep playing around with that, but I just don't feel like that is worth $64. I could do that with any of these products, I'm sure. So just, I don't know. We'll see. So far, I'm not loving it. I love the way this foundation stick smells. I know people hate that about it, but I think it smells so good. Take a little bit. I know this is called 3CR Cool Rosy, but to me, I see a little bit of a peachy tone to it. I'm just being very careful. Most of the product is here in the center, and I'm going to tap it in, and then with whatever's left on the brush, then I'll go over the bronzer and contour. But I get the technique. I feel like it's a really good technique for people that need to make their makeup last. I don't know. For me, I just am not wowed by this formula. I thought the formula would be way more pigmented as far as something going underneath foundation. I'm going very light with the amount of this. I'm usually a lot more generous with this foundation because I just love it so much. But I'm barely tapping any of this on. I'm not usually a fan of hydrating formulas, but something about this Dior foundation stick just wears so beautifully that I just can't stop it. I love it. I'm taking my Stands Out sponge, and this is where the magic happens for me with this stick foundation. So see how radiant it is right there? Over here, once you press it in with this, it just gives this blurred look. It still looks hydrated, but it just looks smooth and blurred. I love it so much. And this sponge literally feels like a cloud, so any amount of pressure that you put on it is still not a lot. It's like a memory foam pillow, but even softer. I honestly don't even see the contour. What do you think? I mean, I see it a little bit, and I'm sure I could just go right back on top now that I have foundation on and make it work. But I want to use these other products, like I said, but I'm a little bit bummed by that. I felt like it would be a little bit more, actually, I felt like it would be a lot more pigmented than it is. Moving on, let's try the Morphe Sculpt Stick. It's called the Shape Lifter in the shade Refined. I feel like my nose contour still looks, I mean, I can see it under there. So I don't need to do a lot with this, but this product I think is perfect for nose contour. Very creamy, just gliding right on top. I'm going to use my Patrick Ta nose contour brush, and I usually take this side and just press it in. And now I take the fluffy side and just lightly blend it in. I feel like that's nice. I like it. Now the bottom lip, even though I can still see it under my lips there. This is the perfect size for detailed contour like this, and I love the formula. So far, I really like this. I'm going to scribble a little bit back here where I do contour. You can see the product is now like melted. It's nice formula. It really is. I like it. I'm just going to use this Morphe Cream and Liquid Contour M243 brush. I'm going to start up here. Just tap that in. I like to keep the contour up really high on my forehead by my hairline. I just do tapping motions, and I keep it back here by my ear, and then just lift up as I'm tapping. And now we're going to try the Lunar Beauty. This is the bronzing stick, so I'm going to go a little bit higher. This shade looks to be really good for maybe olive skin tones. It has a yellowy olive tone to it. It's literally melting right into my skin. Super melty formula. Same brush. I'm just going to tap this in. And I keep it like right here at my eye bone. And then just tap it into that contour. Kind of blend them together. I'm going to tap with my Standout sponge just to make sure I didn't go down too far. Beautiful. I really like both of these. I'm liking them even more than the Mary Phillips palette, which I do like, guys. I'm not trying to hate on it. I just feel like for the price, it should have given me more pigment. For blush, I've got so many, but I gotta try this Dior, guys. I have to try this. Let's just do a little bit. And like I said, it's a very moussey texture, so it's hard to just do like a dot. I'm gonna blend it in with the Rare Beauty blush brush. This is the shade Orchid. And I just felt like this formula looked so beautiful, and the shade. And it blended right into my skin. So it's not like super pigmented to where you have to worry. We're just going to do that. I'll probably do a little bit more blush after I do concealer. Okay, that's enough. I don't want to try too much. Let's do that. And then we're going to try a little bit of the Rhode on top. This is the shade Tan Lines. And I'm just going to take it on the brush. All right. And then I'll use the NARS blush after I use concealer. I'm just going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear because this is my newest concealer. I have it in the shade 2.5C and I love it so much. I'm going to take it and try not to apply too much because I did use that Mary Phillips color corrector and I don't know how it's going to perform under my eyes. So I'm just going to use that much concealer. I will use this Delium Tools. It's the 788 BDHD Phase 3 Golden Triangle brush. That is a lot of words. I've really been enjoying this concealer. It gives a ton of coverage, but I don't find, as long as I don't put on too much, I don't find that it creases. I feel like it dries down really good. Every now and then I'll notice that it gets a little bit heavy looking throughout the night, but most products do after, wearing them for 16 hours. I just love this. It's such a good formula. And the shade is perfect for me. It gives brightness, but not too much. And so far, it's going on top of that color corrector well, just fine. I'm not noticing any issues. So what I do is I tap it in with the brush and then I'll press it in further with the sponge to make sure it's not going to move. And that also picks up excess product that way. I'm going to tap it in with the Real Technique sponge. I have this Rare Beauty puff, but I don't know if it's going to be easy to set my under eyes with it. I guess it's pointed enough. We can try it. I'm going to use the Cali Ray powder in the shade Dawn. Although, like I said, it does terrify me a little bit that there was no protective seal on it. Before I set my under eyes, I always go back through with the brush and make sure that I don't have any excess product up by my lash line, because that's where I will crease. All right, I've got the powder here, the shade Dawn. Definitely blurring. It's not as bright as I thought it was going to be. It actually darkened my concealer a little bit. I think it looks really good. Very smooth. All right, same thing. Very smooth. I'm going to lightly set my face now, but I'm going to leave my cheeks kind of alone for now. I want to put that NARS blush on top, so I'm just going to lightly set around my face with this powder. It's working like a translucent powder more than a brightening shade for me anyway. I'm going to take the NARS blush in the shade Dazed. I'm going to use the same brush, the Rare Beauty blush brush, and I just want to show you guys what this does. It just smooths my cheeks and makes them look barely blushed. Just barely. I don't know. It's something about it is just, I love it. Like I said, eventually I will buy more shades, but right now I'm very happy with this one because it's just a barely there blush. From One Size Beauty. I'm just going to turn the puff around. I hauled this in the last video, but this is the shade 2N in the powder foundation. I love it so much, especially as a finishing powder. And pressing this in on top might just be what this look needs. Now, I did not buy a new powder bronzer, so I'm just going to use my Hailey's Beauty Resculpt Smoothing Contour Powder. I had it in the shade medium, and I just take this on a brush from Shop Miss A. It's the F14. I absolutely love this for powder, contour, bronzer. I love this product so much. It just smooths all the texture out, gives a beautiful blurred look. Now let's try this Moon Prism blush from Lunar Beauty. I don't know which shade I want to use. I think I want to use a little bit of Spacey and Stargaze mixed together. And I'm just going to tap off the excess. And we're going to use it on the same brush. Just going to tap this in. I've never used his powder blushes, so I wasn't sure if they were going to be like super duper pigmented. So I wanted to be very careful. But I would say they are, but I just picked up like the perfect amount to do both sides. So far, I really like this. I think it's very pretty. Then one of my newest lip liners is Makeup Forever, the Artist Color Extreme in Wherever Walnut. Just going to apply a little bit of this. Because that contour, you don't really need much. I didn't purchase a new lipstick either, but I'm going to use this from Armani. It's the shade 102 in the Lip Powers. I love this. I've been using it a lot lately. And it's just like a very satiny lipstick formula. I really love it. And now I'll use the Lunar Beauty lip gloss on top in the shade Coven. Just to tap that on top. Yeah, it definitely has those sparkles to it. I loved this scent of these too. It smells so good. I'm going to do a little bit more brow work with the L'Oreal Faux Brow Pen. All right, now I'm going to take that matte white shade from the Morphe palette that's more like a satin. I'm going to take it on this little brush from Huda Beauty, and yeah, it's definitely a pigmented white satin shade. And I'm just blending that in the inner corner to give some pop. I had a feeling this would work better on the inner corner because it was a little too satin for under my brow. But yeah, it gives a beautiful pop in the inner corner. For setting spray today, I'm going to pull out the Urban Decay All Nighter. Since they just reformulated this and I had just repurchased brand new, I want to go ahead and use this. Now they have a new version that you can try if you want, but I'm a fan of the old, so I'm just going to use this up. I'm going to use my lower lash mascara, which is from Lancome. All right, I'm going to go do my hair and I'll come back and we're going to talk about all of these products. All right, I'm going to go through my list here of products and just kind of give you my overall first impressions. The Dior Forever foundation stick, I love that product so much and I'm so happy that they came out with new shades. The shade 3CR I think is just perfect for me. I'm loving how my skin looks. It looks so healthy. The Makeup by Mario Master Pigment Pro Eyeliner in the shade Plum, I knew I would love it. I thought it would be a little bit more burgundy, and I thought it might make my blue eyes pop a little bit more than it is, but it's a good formula. I just felt like the shade might be a little bit more plum, but I like it. I just kind of wish it was a little bit more red toned. The Cali Ray Magic Hour 16-hour blurring talc-free loose setting powder in the shade Dawn. I thought it was going to be way more bright than it is. I think my under eyes look great. I feel like they look smooth. They don't look cakey. They feel super smooth. I feel like it set my under eyes very well. The only thing that bummed me out a little bit about it is that, I don't know, it kind of set on top of my skin. I think now that everything is on, I've got my setting spray on, everything's kind of blended together at this point, and I think it looks a lot better. But I'm just telling you, my skin, my complexion, it could look better with a different powder. So I think it's okay. I think it's one of those powders that I might just continue to use on my under eyes, and that's totally fine. It's very, very hard for me to find a setting powder that works for my under eyes and all over my face. So as you can see, like all my texture is just showing. My skin still looks great and healthy, but it just could look better. The Fenty Beauty Invisimatte Mini Instant Setting and Blotting Powder. I love that product, and I might try here in just a minute. I'm going to give my skin more time to warm up, but here in a minute, I might try it on my textured areas to show you on camera, so don't let me forget that. The NARS Multi-Stick Soft Blur Blush Stick in the shade Dazed. I'm literally obsessed with this. This is like 10 out of 10. Love the formula, love the shade, and I will probably purchase more in the future. I really, really love it. It's good. The Danessa Myricks Color Fix Sticks. I got the Duo number 5. I just feel like for $38, it's just okay to me. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it, but do with that what you will. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. The Rare Beauty Soft Touch little powder puffs. I think they're good. I mean, they're nothing revolutionary, but they're nice. The Dior Forever Blush Soft Filter Whipped Liquid Blurring Matte Blush. $49. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, and they do have 10 different shades. The shade Orchid, I was so intrigued by, and I'm so glad that I purchased it. It's beautiful. I can't wait to play with this more. I highly recommend those. And the Revie Beauty Easy Everyday Brow Pencil in the shade Light Brown. For $24, I feel like I kind of already spoke about this, but I would just prefer the NYX Nano Blade and Shade or my Benefit. For this price, I like it, but there's others that I do prefer. So it's kind of like, okay, it's just okay. The Morphe Rich Glitch palette, $15. I have the same thoughts with this. Morphe eyeshadows are just okay to me. The palette's very hard to open, and mine did come a little broken, so I was a little disappointed in that, to be honest. The Sun and Heat Cream Bronzer Stick in the shade Ignite. I did swatch that for you, but I did not use it today. I will put that in a video coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. It swatched beautifully, and I think it's going to be a really good bronzer stick, so I can't wait to try it out. I just had too many options for today. The Morphe Micro Manager Gripping Brow Gel, no, for 12 bucks, just save your money and get the Rare Beauty for 19. It just didn't do anything. The Morphe Nano Brow Pencil in the shade Latte, I really like it. I just feel like the shade pulls a little bit warm, so just be cautious with the shades. I would probably need to pick out something a little bit more cool toned. They have 6 shades total, so it might be hard to find a good match for you. I feel like you need to have more than 6 shades. But anyway, it's okay. And then the Morphe Shape Lifter Micro Contour Stick. I want to call it Shape Shifter so bad, but Shape Lifter. And I bought the shade Refined. There are 7 different shades for $13. I love it. It was perfect for nose contour, under my lip. It was flawless. I love that product. That one is a 10 out of 10. The Rhode Peptide Lip Tint in Lemon Teeny. They do have 6 other shades. This one's limited edition. It came in that little pack that I got, and I love it. It's beautiful. I have nothing bad to say about it. The Pocket Blush in the shade Tan Lines. They have 11 shades, $25. Tan Lines is a beautiful summer shade. I'm very happy with the purchase. It is a little bit more of a hydrating formula, so just keep that in mind if you have texture or combination oily skin. Just make sure you set it really well. The Blazing Mist. I really have been enjoying using that like a toner. It's $30. Like I said, I did buy it in a little bundle. I'll put it up on screen for you to show you what I bought, but I like it. It's like a spray milky toner. It's nice. You might really, really enjoy it if you have dry skin. The Clio Kill Lash, you all know how I feel about that mascara. It is phenomenal. I haven't even recurled my lashes. Let me show you. Take your powder brush and lightly dust it on your lash curler. This is the Shiseido lash curler. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I recurl them. I'm telling you, Clio Kill Lash mascara. Wow. I just feel like it gives it a little bit of extra lift. I just like the way it looks, so that's what I usually do. And I forgot that I hadn't done it yet, so I wanted to show you guys on camera what it looks like when you recurl. Shiseido lash pads, that's just a refill. The NYX Blade and Shade Nano, I didn't get to use it today, but I'll probably use it in my next video. The Lumify eye drops, I hope you all could really see. I mean, my eyes are so white. That stuff is so good. The L'Oreal Eye Defense, I didn't use it today, but you all know how much I love that. And then the Too Faced Cloud Crush Whipped Lip and Cheek. I cannot wait to get that and see if it's similar to the Dior formula. The shade looks very similar. Milk and Cookies. So I can't wait to see it. I hope it's here soon. And if it's here, I will feature it in my next video. Benefit Precisely My Brow Duo. That's just a repurchase. The Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette for 35 bucks. I think it's really good. I only used a little bit of it because I had so many blushes on at that point, but I feel like you could build it up. It's a beautiful formula. I expected that though. Lunar Beauty is just that girl. Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension Bronzing and Sculpting Stick in shade Medium Sky. There are 7 different shades. I feel like it was a little bit on the yellow side for me, but we made it work and it did blend out beautifully. So I'm not mad at it. I just kind of wish I would have went for a more cool tone shade, but I feel like those are technically bronzing sticks. They're not contour. So I'm happy with it. Let's just put it like that. I'm not mad at it. The Lunar Beauty Lip Gloss in the shade Coven. I knew I was going to love that. They do have 7 different shades in the shimmer formula and 3 in the color. $17 for a beautiful lip gloss. I really like it. The MPH by Mary Phillips Underpainting Face Highlight and Contour Palette. Shade Medium. I'm going to have to keep playing with it. I have kind of mixed feelings on it right now. You'll have to let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. You'll just have to let me know if you feel the same way as I do. I just feel like once I put the foundation on, it was hard to see it, and I knew it was going to be from the moment I put it on my skin because it didn't have enough pigment, basically. That's what it boils down to. I hate it because it was so expensive. I wanted to absolutely love it, but I just feel like it's okay. It's all right. The brush, I love. That was a really good brush. I'm happy to have it in my collection. And then my 2 backups of Nakia Joy Cosmetics powder. That is the stuff right there. If you have oily combo skin, try that Nakia Joy powder. You'll love it. Before we leave, let me just see if I can get you to see what this Fenty powder does right here where I have my pores showing. Take your little puff. And you can barely tap it, and look at that. And it never looks, to me, I've never experienced it looking heavy. It just blurs out all that shine and texture. So just use it in the spots where you want to blur and soften your pores. This is why I keep it in my bag at work. It's phenomenal. If you did not catch my current go-to favorites, you need to watch that video. If you're looking for long-lasting products and techniques and like tips and tricks on how to make your makeup last for hours, that's the video to watch, because I'm telling you, with those products in the way that I apply them, I get 16 plus hours of really, really good wear. If you're looking for something else to watch, that's where you should go. Right after you leave this video, go find that one. That is today's video. That is the look with all these new products. I think it came together nicely. Could it look better? Yes. But we'll keep trying these products and testing them out, and I will see you guys in my next video very, very soon. That's all for today. Bye. Oh yeah. Thumbs up. Subscribe.